Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. If the subject be thus of the utmost importance, any scientific inquiry into life must necessarily be inferred through an investigation into the subject. Means, what is your preference? What is the priority of your life? Because Vedanta is a subjective science. And subject here is I only. It's a subjective subject, not subjective object or objective subject. It's a subjective subject. So thus, when they inquired, they found that each one of us is not in fact behaving as though we are a composite whole, but as if we are a multi-headed entity. Within each one of us is functioning as it were a three or four distinct personalities within. Though, just a minute. So, as it were, three or four distinct personalities we are having, and we live, and they function. Though biologically, a single being we are. Divakar Chaitanya, Mr. X, Mr. Y, Mr. Z. Biologically, we are a single being. But within us, three, four distinct characteristics, distinct personalities work, function. So though the biologically a single being within it, telescoped as it were, are the four main aspects, each asserting its maximum to express itself, as though each is a distinctly different entity. Thus, in an individual, there are four kinds of personalities, mainly four kinds of personalities. Who are they? They are physical personality, mental personality, intellectual personality, and spiritual personality. We are having mainly four kinds of personalities, each having its own world of values, ruminating over its own thoughts, desires, and emotions, and reveling in its own ideas and ideologies, and consistently trying its best to break its shackles and escape into a greater nameless freedom, peace, and joy. And all these commotions happen at one and the same time. Swami Vivekananda once remarked a very important thing, that we spend our whole life to prove what we are not. Just think, if we really think what we express ourselves in the society, actually we are that. We have something else because some social norms, regulations are there for which we can't express our originality. We are always afraid how people will react, how people will accept me. We are afraid to lose our acceptance in the society. Am I right or wrong? So we always try to prove what we are not. So the thing is, so all these commotions happen at one and the same time, in one and the same bosom. And such an individual is considered in the political and economic field as a citizen. Thus, each one of us is a hornet's nest, breeding thousands of stinging desires within, each registering the demands of one or the other of the facets of ourselves in order to uh, ourselves. So in order to slave for all these demands, the poor man has, alas, but one pair of legs and hands. We have so many desires. Always we are brooding, knowingly and unknowingly, according to our vasanas. But everything we can't fulfill now, because we have some limitations in this physical being. If one person can't go in two places simultaneously, and how quickly we can go, because we are having only two pairs of, means one pair of hand, one pair of leg. Struggling and striving to earn, procure, and hoard, to cook, consume, and digest, this physical structure, a hapless slave to the domineering personalities, means the mental, the intellectual, and the spiritual, gets itself shattered, and it comes to its middle age. And all its living years are wasted, not only a waste for itself, but a devastating waste to others. Many a times when conflict comes in the organization or we see something, someone else, spiritual personalities, and see some negativities, we sometimes ask ourselves, that what happened after listening to Vedanta for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? If there is no change in the nature, or if he or she is so rough and all those things, or anything else, it's a wastage of time, because half of the day he has spent in Vedanta, where always is tyaga, tyaga, renunciation, renunciation. And half of the day, bhoga, bhoga, bhoga. And that also can't be done in front of the others because they breathe something else. So if there is a difference between preaching and practicing in our life, all sorts of things happen. This condition of life in which the present era has come to live has been applauded as the golden age of competitive life. The golden age of competitive life. Even in ordinary home, suppose four brothers living under the same roof, under the same parental protection, cannot have the same sense of satisfaction at the same table for all of them, even for a single day of the year. Any means of preparations will certainly give some dissatisfaction to some of them. When thus four distinct entities cannot have equal satisfaction at the same table, how can the four personalities in a man ever gain a complete satisfaction in the tussle and contention of the same set of dissipating external circumstances? Just think. In the same palm, the five fingers are not same. Our five, suppose in a small face, the senses are there: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Just think how distinct they are in the function. There is no similarities. We try to cope up with them. We try to cope up with the vision and the sound. We try to cope up with the vision with the taste. Sorry. And yet the world, in its haste and blind to inner constitution, inner constitution of man, is in all hurry-burry, fretting and farming, killing and looting to bring about constitutions and constitutions after constitution for the happiness of man. But in all their efforts, failure alone grins at them again and again. The material world of secular sophistry is today standing ashamed of itself, extremely sad, and completely destitute in the violence of life, stranded, degraded, mobbed, and polluted. The blind worshippers of superficial facts and figures alone can dare hope to reclaim life from its present destitution through materialism. Anyone who is slightly above so to reclaim life from its present destitution through materialism. Anyone who is slightly above average in intelligence and vision in the world of today is feeling instinctively that the great experiment of materialism has definitely floundered once and forever. To drag man's boat to hope out of the sands and set it again in the mainstream of existence is now the function of true religion, true dharma. So, what about the joy seekers? What about the mumukshu? Certainly, every one of you will admit that what we seek in life is peace and joy. All of us, even the animal kingdom also. In life, we need peace and joy. The way of seeking and the field in which we are seeking may be different from man to man, from place to place, and from era to era. But all of us are demanding the same joy everywhere and at all times. Joy or peace, as generally understood, is that which we experience when, in the external circumstances, we come to live a pattern which we have demanded for ourselves at a given period of time and place. One famous story, that one fisherman and fisherwoman, they were fishing on the beach of Brazil. So one American businessman, they saw they are having a hut. They fish very small amount of fish and they sell. One evening he went there and they saw that in the hammock, two different hammock, the couple, fisherman and fisherwoman couple, they are swing into hammock, and they are having something, maybe moody and chop they are having with green chili and chatting. And that American businessman just started talking to them and told, why don't you purchase a big net? The poor fisherman asked, what will happen? Now you can catch more fish. Village person, so he doesn't know all those things. What will happen if I, no, he will sell them and he will earn more money. And then you can purchase a small boat. You can go little, uh, enter into the sea. Then you can earn more. And the businessman was offering, and the fisherman was asking, then he told, you can purchase a big, you know trawler and all those things. Then he told, you can purchase a big flat in New York City. You will have an office. Oh, then you can earn millions of dollars. Then, and at old age, you both will purchase an island. Then you will make a very nice decorating hut, and you will spend your time. Then that poor fisherman asked, then what we are doing now? Everyone's measurement of happiness is different, and all are dependent on the external source. And that source always gets changing, always. That which was in our childhood a great happiness and joy may not again provide for us an equal happiness or peace in our youth. Just think, a blue glass marble or a tennis ball would have been a joyous present when one was in one's childhood. When we look back, I have seen or something, in childhood, there was no television, nothing else. We used to play with so many things, unnecessary things. We used to collect the tickets of the bus. We used to collect the matchbox, the cover of the matchbox so nicely, how many we are having. We used to collect them. But now it has no value. In childhood, the dolls had so much values in our life. So it depends, it gets changed. But the same present would not bring any happiness to us if it is presented to us at our Diamond Jubilee. Conversely, it may even be painful in as much as it would remind us of our old age and the impending calamitous day. Examples can be multiplied to justify the working definition of joy or peace that we have made just now. So, in this, The difficulty or the failure of man is mainly because the demand of the physical man is not necessarily the demand of the emotion. In the same individual, the intellectual personality would still have a third type of demand, and perhaps the spiritual seeker in him would have yet another demand. Thus, four distinct sets of demands are made by each individual at the same period of time and space. Certainly, no two happenings can come to pass at one and the same time and place. The happenings being conditioned by both time and place. Therefore, however much we may try to bring about through certain new changes, a perfect scheme of things in our life and a hope to gain out of it a, uh, a perfect satisfaction for all the four personalities in us, we shall only end up with sheer disappointment. So, what is our hope? If there be a technique by which we can train, discipline, and integrate all these wild and madly revolting personalities in us together into one unit, certainly we can thereafter order much more freedom and happiness for ourselves in the outer world. These techniques are together termed as religion by the great seers, or dharma. What is its function? It teaches us meditation. Meditation means nothing. Meditation means disciplining the mind. That is why a teacher is needed. Spiritual education is needed before sitting into the meditation. Because there should be a target. But before that, you should know that through meditation, God cannot be realized. Through meditation, moksha will not be accomplished. Through meditation, what will happen? Through meditation, we will get a beautiful mind, trained mind, disciplined mind. You will not gain anything else out of meditation. In meditation, actually, if it is a proper, appropriate meditation, there we lose our anger, our pressure of desires, our greed, our delusion, our hatred for others. We lose it actually in meditation. We don't gain anything else. So after losing anything else, what remains, that is a pure mind. That you can tell as gaining. Pure mind means the mind with likes and dislikes. Without likes and dislikes, That is called a pure mind, which mind is ready to understand moksha, emancipation. But this technique is, and how to accomplish it is the main burden of the scriptures, of Veda, of Upanishads, the sacred books of the Sanatanis, actually. We tried hard. What is the constitution and nature of man, and how he should view himself and the world outside? In short, how he should act as the right experiencer, correctly experiencing the true object to be experienced, is the sacred core of all our scriptures. Again, I am repeating. What is the constitution and nature of man, and how he should view himself and the world outside? In short, how he should act as the right experiencer, correctly experiencing the true objects to be experienced, is the secret core of all Upanishads or scriptures. I'm sure that I have now made it amply clear how far our inquiry would be interesting and fruitful, not only to ourselves, but to the world at large, in case we undertake this work in a pure spirit of research and scholarship. Actually, the Vedantic teachers, they want neither your faith nor your devotion for the ancient scriptures to be brought into the Yagnashala. Yagnashala means not that always fire is going on, fire is going on. Yagnashala is the hall where spiritual discourses are held continuously for a fixed length of time till the text is over. That is called Yagnashala. So, to satisfy or to stultify or color your poor discrimination, bundle them away, come to the class with a sharp and pointed intelligence, thirsty to know and willing to strive. Hari Om Tat Sat.